my scrappy friends. I have a new series for you guys, and this is going to be called Hannah's Scrap Bin, and it is just what it looks like. I am going to be going through my scrap bin and picking out papers to make a layout with, and this is just going to be the papers. So this is the same in Pinterest mood board that you've seen at the very beginning as I was saying hello. That is what I'm going to be using today for the inspiration for picking out the colors. Today I'm just focusing on colors. So what I am doing is looking for papers that are a yellow color, like a blue, like a lighter blue color or a blue color, and a like teal type of color. So that pretty much is what I'm doing. This video is just me picking out my papers. So I'm going to be doing this series in each part in two parts. So if you don't really care about watching me pick out papers and why I'm picking out the papers, then you can skip this part and then you'll just be able to watch the other half of this series, and it'll be in a separate video, and that is just me creating the layout. I think that this is going to be the easiest way that I can explain kind of what I'm doing as I'm doing it, and then you'll get a little bit of both. So if you're interested in figuring and learning out how to put papers together to make a nice layout or to make like a kit or something. So here I'm talking about how I like this paper because it has yellows and other colors, but the other colors I really don't care for. They don't really go because there's more than one paper. So as you can see here, I have a few papers, and this whole video is me picking out papers. So, and later on you'll see me refine my search. So I have some Amy Tan in there right now. I have some sweet My Mind's Eye, The Sweetest Thing collection is in there. Some of that floral that's a little bit darker is Kaiser Craft, I believe. I was talking about how I liked the teal with the clouds at Echo Park, but that the teal was a little bit too green. It was more green than actual like a teal color. And I was thinking about using this because it's a pretty good neutral, and in the mood board there is like a beige color for a neutral, and then how I like that, but it's a little too orange yellow for me. But I liked the chicken wire neutral color, so that is going to go in that pile. And I am trying to go all the way down to where I have papers that I don't use very often, because a lot of times I'll pick out, I like that because it has all three of those colors that I'm looking for. It has the teals, it has the lighter blues, it has the yellows, and then it has a neutral. And that also, it's Echo Park or Fancy Pants. It's Park Bench. I want to say it's Fancy Pants, but don't quote me on that. That's an older line. So I thought about maybe using this. That's gesso that I added a little bit of paint to get those two colors. So here's a whole bunch of branding strips. I keep a lot of this stuff, and then sometimes later on I'll go through and then I'll just get rid of stuff that I either don't think I'm going to use at some point. Like I have a ton of branding strips and I'm not really sure why I keep them. Because half the time I don't use them. But I know the stuff down near the bottom was when I first started scrapping last summer, and I kept a lot of like the Maggie Holmes. That was the first like big collection that I had all together. So I didn't want to throw that out. I thought about maybe using that side because it has the lines and it would be a good like neutrally paper, and I could use the lines for journaling if I thought. At this point, I have no idea what my photo is going to be really. I mean, I have an idea of a photo that I want to use, and that's a beach, but of the colors of the mood board. So I started with the mood board and then I added, and I do this a lot where I will pick either a mood board or a piece of inspiration for a layout, or something will inspire me for a layout, and then I'll pick a photo based on that. But I know a lot of people pick photos first. So that one has that macaroni, but it's just a little too orange. That is not going to work because it has purples in it, and I don't want to add any other color. Like, I really like that other side of that striped paper because it had, the pinks would have worked really nicely with the blues and the teals and the yellow, but I didn't want to add that extra color. So here I'm looking for some of the stuff near the top because I know I have some newer collections like that Amy Tan and that blue striped from her new collection from the Rise and Shine. And I kind of thinking that that will help pull some stuff together. I really like that one from Dear Lizzie, but it again has the pink in it, and I'm not sure I want to add the pink. So that is just a little too green. So at this point, I'm just trying to keep in mind that I only need enough for one layout, but that I do want to have some neutral stuff. And I'm almost at the point where I'm done looking through what I have here, and then I'm going to reduce again. And I'll go in a little bit more detail into why I've picked the papers. I mean, I know this is kind of long, and I'm hoping that next week, since this is the first video, I'm kind of working out the kinks of how I want to have this. So I'm going to put that ledger, I think I put that in, or I'm not sure. I thought about it, but it had pink in it, and sorry for my head. All crazy. Yeah, so I did save it, but I know in the end I don't use it because it has pink. And not that it's that big of a deal because it's just a little. I think about using that, so I put that in there. And I really like that blue one, but it was a little bright, and I wasn't sure if I wanted that bright of a blue. I know at this point yep. So, and do I keep that one? I think I keep that because I'm thinking that maybe I can use it because I don't have a background yet. So here's the papers that I've kind of narrowed down that I picked through that big bucket. Okay, and so this is the regular speed, just so you know. And I'm going to kind of look through each of these and pick which ones I think are really going to be keepers for a good contender for a layout. Now, I like to use a lot of paper for layering. And so I'm thinking about how many striped papers I have, how many circled elements or busy papers and stuff like that too. So I would have kept the real volume on this, but it kind of got funky. So this is why I'm doing the voiceover. Hopefully next week I won't have to do that. So I'm thinking about that shell neutral, but it's a little sandy. So in the end, I'm not going to go with those. And that's a smaller strip of that bigger park bench. Now, I really like that one from My Mind's Eye up at the top, but it's kind of busy. So I'm not really sure if I think it's going to be too much with the other circles, because I'm trying to keep in mind the busyness of different patterns as opposed to with the colors. And, are the colors going to work? I really like that chicken wire because it matches really similarly with the park bench paper. And I really like that Amy Tan paper. That blue works really, really well also with the blues in there. And it kind of goes with what I'm thinking about. And of course my hands are all in the way, so I'm really sorry about that. It really goes with that mood board from the beginning. And that's really what I'm trying to do, is match the colors with the mood board colors. So I'm not worried about the theme of that mood board at all. I really like this because it has that gradient of, and that's from Webster's pages. It has the sand colored into the ocean because I believe the whole sheet was like the ocean. It was like the sand with the ocean. So I'm also thinking about some yellows. I really wanted to use, let's see, I have that yellow, And I think at this point I'm thinking about what yellows I might want to use. I really liked that stripe, yellow striped, that also goes with the park bench. I like that blue. It reminds me of the ocean. So I'm going to put those in with those because I like that yellow with the blue stripe that goes with the park bench. I really wanted to use this, but the more and more I had the other colors, it was way darker and a lot more vintagey, and I wasn't sure if that was going to work. I think I put it in with, and then by the time I do my layout, it doesn't end up being in there. I really liked that Heidi Swap with the, like the sequiny hexagon type shape. So I keep that, and the neutral is like sand, like that craft is similar to sand. So I'm trying to think about at this point how many more papers am I going to want to add. I really liked the color, that teal. It's more green, and at this point I don't have a whole lot of green in there. The Heidi Swap paper, I'm trying to think if it was more blues than greens. I think it's more blues, so I am thinking about some of the green colors. I really liked that, but I just thought it was almost too much, and that's just too small of a strip. I don't think I'm going to use that. The Scraptastic paper, which I have covered, was just too much blue. So I'm really trying to narrow down pretty quickly, and I still keep coming back to this because it matches with that other blue one, but just it's so busy that I thought it was going to take away. So I just put that off to the side. So here I'm thinking maybe one more yellow, and I really like that Amy Tan yellow, but I think I just didn't want to add another circle element because I already had some other circly things. So I'm leaning more towards the Studio Calico that looks kind of like pineapple-y. I don't know why it reminds me of pineapples. But and then the Amy Tan one that has like the arrow chevrons. So I'm thinking about those two. I have no idea what I'm really saying, but those are kind of what I'm thinking about. I really wanted to use that, but it has so many colors in it, and I just think it's also so busy. It's pretty, but it's just so busy. So I'm thinking that I'm not sure if I'm going to use that big one, but I have the other small one. So I know I don't want to use that side. And here I am thinking about, is it too much yellow? Is it too big? I would like to use that, but it just clashes with the other neutrals that I have. I really liked that. It's almost the same color as the park bench, but it's a little lighter, and I like that the arrows are white. So it adds just a little bit more white. That's just... At this point, I'm thinking that I almost have enough neutrals. I liked that, but I thought that the silver was maybe a little too much. So I'm getting near the end of what I'm going to be putting down, and so I'm thinking about some of these other neutrals. Do I need them? I wanted to keep this because at this point, I'm pretty sure I want to use a beach theme or a beach photo, and I'm thinking maybe I can add it in, and it actually doesn't end up coming in, though I could have maybe cut out one of the surfboards or something. That is something I could have did, but I didn't think about it when I was doing the layout. So I'm thinking about using that, but I didn't think it would work too well for a beach photo. So here I have some bigger pieces, and as of now, a lot of the papers that I have are smaller, which is fine because I'll use them for layering, and that's not a big deal. But this one, I was thinking, that blue, I was thinking maybe I could use that for a background if I wanted to do like a big, white border or something. I also was thinking that to me is a little too vintagey and a little too distressed, and I just don't think it's going to work. So I definitely put that off to the side, and I think I keep that one lined paper, but I'm not sure if I'm going to use it at all. It's kind of different than the coloring is a little different, and I end up don't wanting to use that. I end up completely going a little bit off of what I was thinking. So these are what I am going to be using for the layout. So this is kind of my thought process. I hope I explained it enough. If you guys have any advice for me to make it easier for you, and maybe some ideas of what you guys like to use as inspiration so that I can use that as like a starting point. And in a minute, you're going to see the done result, but I also will have the actual process video so you can see that as well. So I will talk to you guys later, and I hope you have a great week. Bye.